Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the VK90.01P, the Tier 10 German Super Heavy collector vehicle. Now, this is, in my opinion, going to be the last Tier 10 coming in to the Stage 3 of the auction. I already think the 5A is going to be the first, and I think the VK90 will be the second after checking some of my sources and other stuff like that. Now, of course, I might not be 100% on this. My other option could be the 121B, but I'm pretty dang sure that it is going to be the VK90. So, I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know about this tank. The good things, the bad things, the armor profile, and as well, how much money I think this will be coming into the auction for. So, of course, if you enjoyed today's video, you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, because it helps out the channel a crazy amount. Now, the VK90 is actually, in my opinion, the best auction tank out of all of the ones that have come out so far. It's better than the M60, but way better than the Badger, of course, the AMX-30B, even better than my beloved 5A. This tank is on a whole nother level for Tier 10 heavies. I'd rate this right up there with the IS-4 and the E100. It's so strong. And the reason for that being is, first of all, as you can see, there's no real weak spot on the side of this vehicle. A lot of German Super Heavies have weak spots. Like the mouse, yeah, you've got super strong sides, but the turret cheeks are extremely weak to penetrate. As well, the E100 has the same issue. Very strong sides, but again, you've got those big turret cheeks. This tank doesn't have weak turret cheeks. Yeah, you can penetrate them with heat, but it's a really small area, and you can easily angle the turret and get a lot of bounces, where the other two German Super Heavies is very hard. As well, it's a big, flat side that's extremely thick, and unlike the VK72, where it has that bulbous weak spot, this thing does not. So this is by far, in my opinion, the best side-scraping tank in World of Tanks Blitz at Tier 10. Now, not only does it have extremely strong side armor, the frontal plate is very thick. The upper plate is thicker than a mouse, and the lower plate is also very strong, able to mount a lot of standard shells. If you know how to wiggle it correctly, it can be very troll. This is one of the most troll tanks in the planet. When I try to shoot at it, you'll think you can fit right in between the tracks and the hull. You'll shoot there, it looks like it's a gray spot, and it just doesn't penetrate. It's the same for the side of the hull when you're loading heat. It can be a very tricky tank. Now, this tank, of course, does have some drawbacks. First of all, the frontal gun depression is only sitting at 4 degrees. The sides are 10, but the front is only 4, which means that you have to angle this tank correctly if you want to work a lot of ridge lines. Sometimes if you want to get your full 10 degrees at, the issue is that you're actually exposing too much of your side armor, and you'll be at easy penetration. Not only that, but this vehicle does not have the most damage per minute, only sitting at around 2407 if you are running calibrated, and around 2600 if you're running gun rammer. So it does have a couple issues here and there. The APCR penetration isn't the highest at 336, but overall, the VK90, in my opinion, is just such a strong tank because there's no real weaknesses. Now, of course, it does have weak side armor. While it is an excellent side-scraping vehicle, you can shoot the side of it very easily. If it's exposed, it's going to be a very easy target, of course. It's this big, long German tank. That's the same for the rear and the side of the turret. The biggest issue I will say with this tank I have personally noticed when playing it is that the side of the turret is very easy to penetrate. Unlike a mouse, where you can aim at one person and it's still decently strong for the other person that's looking at you, if I'm aiming over at Jimmy over here and Ron's looking at the front of me, well, the issue is that Ron can easily shoot my turret because it becomes very weak. So it does have some issues. And as well, I could say mobility, I guess, is a holding place because it only goes 30, but it is, of course, a Tier 10 German Super Heavy, so you expect it to go 30 in the first place. Now, the gun is actually surprisingly accurate. For it being a 130mm gun, you can see it's got decent aiming time, and as well, the dispersion, I think it's sitting around 0.334 or so, isn't awful either. So it's got good aiming time, handling statistics going for it. We're going to see if we can get a shell into the enemy VK90, but right now, looks like we're just going to be doing ring around the rosies, so maybe I can get a shell into the Chieftain Mark 6, possibly. Fire! Oh, ricocheting off his turret. That's a bit unfortunate, isn't it? I don't like when that happens. So let's just keep driving, I guess. I don't think that Chieftain Mark 6 is going to pull out, so we can pull up forwards here. Maybe this VK90 is going to let me get shell out. There you go, nice shot into the VK90, and we're going to pull forwards and keep on going. Now, as you saw, he bounced right off my upper plate. I pretty much knew that he couldn't see my lower plate, which I'm looking at right there, as you can see, of course. Now I'm going to try and hide my lower plate once again. The Object 704 bouncing off me as well. You can see so far, I'm doing a very good hold against the enemy team. Another nice shot into that VK. We've taken taken off over half of his health now. Hopefully my team is going to support me because, okay, I do have a team supporting me back there. I don't want to be shot, of course, without a team support, so let's keep aiming in on this VK. Another nice tap into him for 430. You can see how you want to play this tank and how you don't want to. I'm playing it correctly. I'm making sure that this VK cannot penetrate my vehicle by angling it correctly, by making it very tricky. The enemy VK is playing it like a dunce, to be fair. He is showing me his side armor every time he's pulling out. He's shooting at my upper plate because I'm making it so that he can't see my lower plate. That is not how you want to play this vehicle, of course. He's giving me all of his weak spots. So aim at the side of that AMX, and there you go. Big high explosive. The average damage for the HE in this tank is 600, and as you saw there, that was a big, beefy 600 damage roll. Now we've got the FE2 and 5B183 right over here, and I'm not even worried about him, to be fair, penetrating my turret, and perfect example, bounces off of my turret. Once again, you can see the fantastic turret armor of this vehicle working into play. Now we're going to finish off this chieftain real quick, just so I don't have to worry about him in the long run. And our team is still folding this game very, very quickly. Not necessarily something you want your team to do. We got the Progetto off onto the frontier, or to the side, should I say. Let's aim in a shell. Boom, nice shot for 517. And we're already sitting at 4,136 damage, taking 0 damage in return. And as you can see, this is just how the VK works. It's just such a good tank when you know how to play it correctly. It's got good frontal armor, it's got the gun, and it's got enough damage from it to work pretty much any situation if you do get stuck in it. Now, I don't know if that 50B is going to be waiting there, but we're going to get a nice snap right into the side of that Progetto. Let's back up now, wiggle that hull once again. Maybe he's going to bounce us. Ooh, I over-angled there a little bit, but that is not too much of a worry because even if he shoots me, I'm just going to trade shells with him right now. There's no point not to. Even if this 50B gets me shot, I'm not super worried because, of course, it's not the biggest of threats. Let's finish off the Progetto. There you go, Progetto taken out. And all that's left is the AMX 50B, who we are going to easily get shells into. So let's just start doing that right now. Hello, 50B comrade. How are you doing? There's one nice HE for 647 hit points. And now let's start going after him once more. This 50B is about to get slapped as well by the Object 268. Unless he does this and just jukes his way past him. But hey, more damage from me, right? We're just going to get one more HE into him. Over 6,600 damage dealt now. And even though this 50B is probably going to get some shells into us, I couldn't care less because we are easily going to come out with a victory in this game. So this is the VK90, as you can see. This was a fantastic first game, over 7,000 damage dealt, and you can see just how strong it really is if you play it correctly. I absolutely love this tank, and not to mention, it's a collector, which means it earns great credits. So this first game was a perfect example to show how to play this tank, how to angle it, and everything else like that. But of course, let's load in the one more game to see if we can keep up with that good battle. The reason the VK90 is such a strong tank is because it really doesn't have any major weaknesses. Sure, as I said, the side armor can be very easy to shoot. A 183 having your side will ruin your day, but isn't that the same for any tier 10 as it is? A 183 aiming at the side of an IS-7, an IS-4, an E100 would still hurt a lot. It might not be able to hesh you, but it's still going to take off 1,000 hit points. So, to be fair, the argument that the sides are weak, I don't really know if it 100% holds up, because they're really not super weak. They're still about 120, 140 millimeters thick, if I'm not mistaken, which makes it extremely strong at side scraping. So, what does the enemy team have? Well, they got a Super Conch, they got a 50B, a Badger. That can be a very tricky tank, of course, to play against, especially hull down, because my penetration is not enough to get through it if it is sitting hull down, but we're going to try the best we can here. Now, of course, I do have 10 degrees if I work the ridge line correctly here. You can see 10 degrees over the side, but over the front, only sitting at 4. So, it actually has a really cool balancing factor there, and that's something I like, is that Wargaming gave this tank weaknesses, but if you know how to angle it correctly, those weaknesses aren't too bad, but you don't want to over-angle your sides too much like you saw that first VK90 doing in the first game. So there is the T-22 medium. We also got like the Jagdpanzer E100 off to the side. Let's aim and fire. There you go. Nice tap right into the Jagdpanzer's turret. And as you saw there, a ricochet right on the roof of the tank as he was trying to hit the cupola, I'm pretty sure there. Now that's a perfect example showing you that this tank is very, very strong in the cupola. Now let's keep aiming at that Jag and fire. Ooh, just missing. And unfortunately, we did get hit in the side of the turret by, that would be the AMX 50B. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get shots into him because, of course, that is a little bit of a tricky spot there. But we also got the T-22 coming up behind me. Let's get a nice shell into the side of the T-22. Now we can start angling towards him. I'm not super worried about the T-22, just just because, yeah, he's going to have a tricky time penning me, and once he starts trying to pen me, we can just easily tap him back with standard shells every single time. So let's just do that exactly right now. So angle, 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 come on. Ooh, nice shots actually coming out of the T-22. But again, we're easily just going to tap another standard shell rate. Oh, I guess not actually. That was, what? Okay, Wargaming doesn't like me, I guess. That one made no sense. But we're going to do the best we can. We got the 50B coming up behind me, which is not what I necessarily like. We want to finish off this T-22 medium. So yeet, finishing him off, of course, definitely wanted to do that. Now, I don't want to get hit by this Jagdpanzer either. That is a tank that's, of course, extremely deadly. And I don't want to get hit by that at all. So we're going to try and side scrape this correctly here. If we do it correctly, we should easily be able to snap him. There you go. Nice snap into the frontal armor and go back into a side scraping position. This is where the VK90 is ludicrously strong because I am practically impenetrable to a vehicle like this Jagdpanzer if I keep side scraping it like this. Another nice snap right into his turret cheek, sitting at 2,500 damage now. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to bother shooting him, but what we're going to do is a little sneaky trick. If our tank is tall enough, we can just back up this ridge here and aim right. Oh, I was going to say aim, as you saw there, at his cupola, but doesn't look like we need to do that. That Yag actually took himself out, stopping us from being able to kill him. I agree with that. You know what? It was a pretty smart tactic. So we got the 50B off to the side here, and if we're able to penetrate this high explosive shell, this will be our 3,000 damage marker. And there you go, breaking 3,000 damage once again. You can see that it really is easy just to break damage in this tank as well. The DPM, you don't need it when you've got such a strong gun going for you. 714 damage with that standard roll there. That's, of course, a really beefy roll as it is. We got the Super Conk off to the side as well. Let's keep aiming in there. Aim and fire. You can see that decent accuracy going up right now. Nice shell into the side of you. And all that's left is the E75 coming off to the side of me. Hopefully he can't pen the shell. Come on, bounce it. Yes, that's exactly what I want. We also got the WT here, who hopefully bounces me as well if he pens. Oh, good, good. And now we can do even a bit of a ram. Yeet. There you go. Nice 233 hit points taken off of you. Let's keep aiming in on that WT, see if we can get another nice HE. That's another 609 hit points taken off. And to be fair, if we play this correctly and we give him a nice little bit of a ram, we should be able to just take him out. No, I wanted to take him out, but looks like my teammate's going to get him as it is. So there you go. Nice tap into the E75. And once again, a fantastic game played by the VK90.01P. Over 6,000 damage once again in 2 games in a row. So as you can see, the VK90 is an extremely strong tank. 6,000 and a 7,000, that's 6,500 average for 2 games. And you can see that it is really strong. Now, one thing I want to point out is don't expect to pull out 6,000 average games. It is a strong tank, and it can be very, very easy to take out. As I said, it's long, big, weak side, so don't expect this to be the most overpowered tank. It has a lot of balancing factors. The weak sides, the poor gun depression over the front. It doesn't have the most penetration, so don't think it is an extremely overpowered tank, but I do think that this is currently one of the best tier 10s to get your hands on, and I would say for about 15,000 gold starting off, it'll probably go down to about 12,000, maybe 10,000. Definitely get your hands on the vehicle, even over the 5A, because it's just such a strong tank. So hopefully you enjoyed today's videos. As always, if you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, but other than that, hopefully I'll be seeing you in the next one.